take a trip to our nation's capital, not too far from where I grew up, to reacquaint myself with the memorials and monuments built to honor the people in this film. In other words, it's a field trip. And I'm glad you're along for the ride. Assuming the old truck makes it.
That was a clip from a phenomenal new film called Something to Stand For. It hits theaters June 27th and stars the great Mike Rowe, which I point out because his writer demands that we refer to him as the great Mike Rowe. But let's focus on the film because I've had enough of his diva. Mike Rowe, my man, what is the origin story for making this film? Were you sensing a gratitude problem in the country? Where did this start?
Dude, like every other good thing that's happened to me, it's just a kind of a Forrest Gumpian thing. I started writing these short stories in the style of Paul Harvey's old The Rest of the Story for a podcast.
Yep.
And that kind of worked. And then that became a book of these short stories, and then somebody made a TV show out of it. And then somebody came after I had a few hundred of them and said, look, the Fathom events, they do these deals with theatrical chains. Anyway, they said, what about like a shamelessly, aggressively patriotic movie for Independence Day? So I had 9 stories or so told in that inside-out format. So they're really mysteries, something you didn't know about somebody you do. You try and figure out who I'm talking about during the story. We string those together, and we called it Something to Stand For because that's the title of the last story in the movie. And that was inspired a few years ago when it just seemed like people didn't know whether to stand or kneel, and we had declared a war on our statuary and our monuments and memorials. And I just thought, I don't want to do a political movie, but I do want to do a patriotic one. So that's what it is. I go to D.C., I visit the National Mall, I talk to park rangers, I meet some guys, some honor, on these honor flights. So it's kind of weirdly earnest for me, but it's very patriotic. And when the dust settles, I hope it might at least reinvigorate some level of something that looks like gratitude.
Some civic pride, some national pride.
That'd be nice.
Because you really got to be invested. Like, to go to these war monuments, you're driving around downtown D.C., which is more dangerous than most of the wars.
Try the 74 Bronco. It's super exciting.
Which has its own issue.
But
I think the term you're getting to, at least the one I use a lot in my head, is that we have something here called American privilege. For a lot of social justice terms, people forget we have America. We're very lucky to be here. People would get into my cab at JFK and cry because they had made it to America. And I always used to say it was the most powerful thing in the world because I could take them a long way, make like 300 extra bucks.
Still not there yet.
This guy's freaking out. He's like, "Why? Can't believe we've got to pass Staten Island to go to 108th Street. This is crazy." But you're kind of finding yourself in an optimistic place, though, are you not? Do you feel like we're close to a course correction where people are going to get it?
I don't know, man. Look, I think that I think that gratitude is a choice. I mean, it's not it's not like your hair color, your skin color, your star sign, or your blood type. We can choose left, right, to be grateful for the progress that we've made. And I think the thing that worries me and bothers me is that, like, 2 or 3 things can be true at once. We're not done yet. There's a ways to go. We can really improve our country, but to ignore the fact that we've gone from 1776 through 1812, through the Second World War, through the Civil War, I mean, we've come far. And whatever improvements need to be made, I think we still have a lot to be proud of and a lot to celebrate and a lot to be grateful for. And look, you know this better than anybody. Nobody wants a lecture. Nobody wants a sermon. Nobody wants a lesson. You have to entertain them, and I hope that's what the stories do. But it was great to go back to the site of my first field trip as a kid.
Oh, is that true? Which monument was that, or was there a specific one?
It was all of them, but we actually end up at Fort McHenry, not far from where I grew up.
Oh, that's rad.
And, which is amazing. Dude, to go there and stand on the ramparts and see the Key Bridge, half of which is now at the bottom of the Patapsco River. Suddenly, the whole metaphorical idea of a country constantly under construction, like the plane landed in a pretty cool way. Spoiler alert. But yeah, It was great fun to do, and it was a happy accident. And I think it's going to be the feel-good hit of the summer.
Oh, well, Mike Rowe, how about that? You guys are inspired. I can see it. People got emotional.
Totally.
Well, since there's been so much focus on tearing down statues, I tasked the ladies, and maybe we can discuss this as a panel, with who we should build statues for in the modern era. Now, this is superficial, okay? It could be serious, could be tongue-in-cheek. You know, a lot of my focus is on day-to-day people. Like, you know, I have a 15-year-old son. I think we need a monument to soccer moms because I spend a lot of time around them on the weekends. Okay, I'm thinking a thermos full of alcohol and a fan. Okay, and you build it, you put it on a pedestal. What is yours, Corinne?
I have a couple. My first one was Justin Timberlake.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes, it was. I feel like he's the man
That's cool,
of the
though.
moment.
We've never had a statue on its side. I think that's actually not bad.
I think it's great because I think a statue should bring people together, and what brings people more together than a common enemy?
Yeah.
Wasn't that David Foster Wallace said that?
Yes!
Before, you know, he made himself his enemy? Okay,
That
look into
happened.
it. Wikipedia it.
Wow, this got weird
Thank
fast.
you. Wow.
Can we bring back his shame suit from the Able? I'm kidding.
Now we're being edgy. Isn't that what you
I love
guys
it.
like?
I love it. Mike, who deserves a statue? The obvious answer is me, so don't, you know.
I mean, with respect, the question that I've been thinking is, would 250 years from now, right, what statues are coming down?
Yeah.
Like when our great-great-great-great-grandkids are going to look back and go, those freaking meat eaters, what were they thinking?
I agree with that. I think you're spot on.
We don't know.
Yeah.
And so
values change.
This whole idea, it's so much easier to judge than think.
Yes.
And, you know, the Romans had an expression, damnation memore, where they would try and erase you from memory by defacing, not removing, but defacing your statuary.
Oh, wow.
And so there are no new themes, no new ideas. We've been building statues and wrecking them
for a while
since
now.
We've been, bipeds.
It's kind of a thing. Em, do you have someone who would get a statue?
All right, so guys, I was thinking a group statue.
Oh.
And it's all those people in Queens who banded together to identify, catch, and beat the out of the guy that raped the 13-year-old girl in Central Park in broad daylight.
Can I just stop you? I agree 100%, but I have to stop you. I swear to you on anything that's holy, I thought you were going to say Def Leppard. Because you go, it's a group statue.
Them too.
Be sure to check out Mike Rowe's movie, Something to Stand For. It is in theaters June 27th.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.